Stainless rainbow. We're going to start this video off with 3 parts of stainless black. That's the traditional stainless black. And then we're going to mix it. And we're going to mix it with the traditional torch. Now we're going to use 4 parts of the traditional torch. Now in most of our videos we do recommend not mixing traditional patinas. But you can get some really cool results if you do a little bit of experimentation. And that's what this is. This is just to show one experimentation or possibility. So here's a piece of stainless that we sanded with 80 grit and then cleaned with the Sculpt Nouveau metal cleaner. And I'm just going to take that mixture of stainless and rainbow and kind of lather it on with a brush. Now for a more even a finish or something, you can try and spray it on. And I recommend playing with the ratios in order to see how to get the exact look you're going for. But essentially, the traditional rainbow has minimal effect on stainless steel, and the torch doesn't really work on the stainless steel. But when you mix the traditional torch and the stainless black, you can actually get some pretty cool effects. And depending on reaction time and how many coats you do and ratios as far as the patina goes, really drastically changes the effects. So with this one ratio of 3 to 4, we're going to do a few different pieces just so you can see all of the different outcomes that I was able to get with just this one ratio. And hopefully that encourages you to play a little bit if this is of interest to you. While this is an experimentation, you can generalize some rules, like both of these patinas need to be neutralized, and so that's pretty normal. So we let it react for a few minutes and then we wash it off with water. And here you can see what we kind of got on that first coat. And I like brushing these on, especially with the rainbow-esque kind of finishes, because you get that modeling that comes with a hot application. I just feel like it comes a little bit more authentic and not so faux-y. And this is not a faux reaction at all. This is all chemical reactive. So I just feel like an overall finish for me isn't as appealing, but to each their own. So again, you can spray this on just as easily. You can sponge it on. But I feel like putting it on with some sort of applicator other than spray will give more natural kind of feels. And for this specific piece, we did 2 coats, neutralizing after a couple minutes each, and then we'll dry it, and we'll use the color lock just to seal it in so we can pop the differences out a little bit. And so that's what we have here. You can see we've got a little bit of blue that's very subtle. We've got a little brownish red marks. And again, it's just about playing to see how you can get some of these different colors coming in. I'm trying to inspire and show some of the cooler things we can do, even though this is stainless steel, because traditionally you can't do a whole lot to stainless steel. We've got the traditionals that can go black and brown on stainless steel, but more of a rainbow-esque kind of color or a little bit more reliable blue in it is just something you've got to play with to see how you can get. But here you can see I'm kind of dripping some on, and I'm not trying to get a specific thing. I'm trying to just get a little bit of variance. Depending on how you do this as well, the order, if you will make a big difference. So if I do these quick little droplets, those are going to show up really pronounced if I do those first. Whereas after here, where I have a coat down already over the entire piece, it's going to come in a little bit more subtle. It won't stand out so much. And that's a technique that's true through all of the traditional patinas, really. In my playing around and trying to figure out how to get this patina to work best, I did notice that the higher concentration of stainless black, the darker the color generally went, because stainless black on its own should go black, or a dark gray at least. So play with that ratio and see how much more you need it, and you can do more coats. Like this one went a little bit lighter, so if you do more coats, it'll go darker like the previous example. Here we're going to put it on, and you can see that it's not reacting as well, and that's likely a result of how well you clean the metal. So I probably used the same pad as far as the sanding pad goes for the last 3 samples, and I obviously needed to switch it. But I'm going to compensate that by using a Scotch-Brite pad. You'll see this technique in a lot of different traditional finishes that we'll do that are cold. So the stainless black, we probably show this often in many videos, same with Black Magic and all those. But basically we're just going to take a Scotch-Brite pad, We're going to burnish off some of the areas that are taking better, and you can see in between my little strokes there that it's starting to come in more and more and more. And basically we're going to get a patina that comes in a lot more even. And it's important to note that you got to put more patina on as well, because otherwise that patina is kind of recycled, and when you're Scotch-Briting and taking off and putting new on, then you'll start getting a better reaction. I'm using a brush to continuously move the material because I don't want it pooling from the edges. Some of the metal we get are kind of almost crimped, so the chemical wants to pull away from the edge, and that's a good technique to help keep it from doing so you still get an even reaction. Overall, this will also help between the Scotch-Brite pad and the brushing. It will help with a more even finish. I will say that this one doesn't turn out more even, but those are general clues that can try and get a little bit more even. Again, if I wanted fully even and kind of a consistent finish, I would spray it, and then I would probably still implement the other two techniques to help get a more even finish. But here we're going to go ahead and rinse it, and you can see already that we've got a few areas that reacted a little bit differently, a little bit darker, if you will, but we've got a pretty overall more tone uniform finish in comparison to the previous two samples here. But we'll go ahead and top this off with the color lock again, and then here is our finish for that process. And I'm only going to show one more technique, and this is just a really modeled version, so you can see I'm going in with just like quick little dots here and trying to get just an interesting finish overall. I mentioned earlier that if I did those little droplets first and then did more patina, those droplets would be a lot more pronounced, and that's what I wanted to show off here. So I did these 4 little roundish spots, and we're going to neutralize like normal. And you probably have noticed that I'm rinsing sooner. I have a tendency to rinse a little quicker with the torch effects because I don't want to overreact and lose the blues. So it's just something you got to play with and find out for yourself. But here we're going to go on and do the entire thing now. So I've got those 4 pronounced areas, and now we're going to work on the overall finish. So we'll finish off this sample, but overall this video is more to just kind of show the creativity portion of it and have some fun. And I had a lot of fun just doing these. So there's actually 2 more pictures that we didn't record that just were kind of cool finishes, and that was just to show you all the different effects that I got with this one mixture of patina. Just to give some ideas, and that's not even doing different ratios. Maybe you do 4 parts to 2 parts instead. But overall, just play around with it and have some fun, and you can get some rainbow-esque colors. They're not all the same colors. They're not all one color. They're really meant to be a little bit more open-minded, but you can get some really nice finishes this way. Torch and stainless black are available at www.sculptnouveau.com or by calling 760-432-8242.